Welcome to the home ice of the Western Conference All-Stars, where we are moments away from the start of a terrific match. This is Mike Emmerich, along with Darren Payne, bringing you all the action between the Eastern Conference All-Stars and the Western Conference All-Stars. Panger, get us acquainted with today's starting goalies.
Doc, getting the start for the Eastern Conference All-Stars, back-to-back Vezina Trophy winner, Martin Brodeur. And in net for the Western Conference All-Stars, one of the best all-round goalies in the game, Marty Turco.
Darren, it's a game that has no bearing on the standings, but you wouldn't know it listening to these fans.
Doc, it's easy to write this one off as just another meaningless match, but the game obviously has huge significance to everyone in the building. Ask them and they'll tell you that there's nothing else that comes close to this game. The crowd is clearly fired up. The players are fired up, and heck, Doc, I'm fired up. There's nowhere else I'd rather be right now.
Thanks, Darren. We're ready to get this one underway. Here we go. Face-off won by Thornton. Poked away. St. Louis controls the puck. Poked free by Kovalchuk. He turns it over. Pass to St. Louis. To Thornton. Cross-ice pass. Kovalchuk moving it into the zone. Turco saves it. Bertuzzi controls it. Knocked away. Naslund on a 3-on-2. Picked off. Gathered in by Yager. Pass to Datsuk. One times it. Iginla finds the back of the net. The Western Conference All-Stars are out in front.
The first goal of the first period is always a nice one to get. Great job there.
Wrist shot finds the back of the net. Let's take another look.
That puck was coming on the one-timer, Doc.
A bunch of stars there on the Western bench.
Some coaches may not show it much, but they're really intense out there, and you can't really blame them.
The draw at center ice. Sundin wins the draw. Lost the puck.
Jerome Iginla. Assisted by...
Intercepted. Pass to Sundin. Hit by Marlowe.
I hope he still remembers his name after that hit.
They move in. Behind the net. Retrieved in the defensive end. Pass to Stevens. Pass to Murray. Into the offensive zone. Stopped. Shoots. Puck knocked away. Sends it across to Roenick. On the rush. Tkachuk pokes it away. Picked his pocket. The backhand. Denied. And he hangs on. That hit will teach you to keep your head on a swivel. Here it is again.
Boy, Doc, he just connected with a massive open ice shoulder check. I'm all the way up here in the booth, and I felt it.
And there's a quick glance at the bench of the East.
Some adjustments being made down there right now, Doc.
Draw to the right of the net. Lang wins the draw. Just out of reach. Loose puck. Pass to Sakic. Lang pokes it away. To Naslund. Snatched out of the air. And he holds it for the whistle. Brodeur, a key player for this team, Panger. Face off in the right circle. Puts one on goal. Blocked. Thornton pokes it away. Sends it across. Pass to Niedermeyer. He can't get the pass. Loose in the neutral zone. Across right. Picks it off. Cut off by Kovalchuk. To Thornton. Saved with the body. Pronger chases it down. A coin touches up for the icing. We gotta see that hit again.
Here's a crushing blow.
Brodeur is among the league leaders in wins.
This guy makes a habit of playing on his head. He's always near the top of the league in wins.
Draw in the right circle. Face off one by Modano. Play is stopped for an offside. Brodeur does a lot for his team, Darren. Face off in the neutral zone. Datsuk wins the draw. Lidstrom feeds it to the center. The save. And he holds on to it. Face off to the right of the net. Sakic wins the draw. Great pad save.
He refuses to give in. Great save.
Pass to Roberts. The Western Conference All-Stars will be called for the penalty. Taken by Alfredson. Roberts feeds it to the center. The Western Conference All-Stars being whistled for a penalty. Bertuzzi into the box for obstruction hooking. The Eastern Conference All-Stars will get the man advantage.
Not a good penalty.
Here's that penalty again.
He had his stick all over him, and the referee had no chance but to call it. This guy is the captain of this team for good reason. His teammates respect him, and he's a heck of a good hockey player.
Draw in the right circle. Thornton wins the draw. Redden scores! They score on the man advantage.
The Western Conference All-Stars hopefully learned a lesson. They need to stay out of the box or they're going to pay for it.
The one-timer goes right by him, Darren. Here's another look.
A wrist shot fired in for a goal.
Draw at center ice.
Eastern All-Stars power
Pass
play
to Lang.
Scored by
Blake races over to get it.
the assist to
Didn't get through.
Joe
To Yager. To Nash. The slap shot. Brodeur got a piece of it. To Datsuk. Pickpockets him. To Yager. Feeds it across. To Messier. Shot. Shut down. And he decides to stop play. Yager delivers the big hit. Here's another look.
That'll leave a mark.
Draw to the left of the net. Wrists it. Turned away. Pass to Doan. Can't reach the pass. Stevens with the puck. Pass to Kovalchuk. Picked off. That was a hard cross-check. Timonen plays it. Pass to Sakic. Naslund blasted with a jarring smash. Cross-ice pass. Pass picked off by Sakic. To Naslund. Dangerous pass. To Nordstrom. Pass to Madano. Rister. Denied. And he hangs on. What a save by Brodeur. Here's another look.
He got robbed on that one, Doc. You know he's got to wonder what he has to do to score around here.
Face off in the left circle. Sends it across. That's a souvenir. He's one of the best in plus-minus.
He was among the league leaders in plus-minus last year, so you know that he can contribute all over the ice.
Face off to the right of the net. To Yager. Marlowe pokes it away. He turns it over. Retrieved in the defensive end. To Lang. Intercepted by Tanguay. Intercepted. Pass to Yager. Slap shot. Got a blocker on it. Won't get there. Pass to Tanguay. Blocked. Loose in the corner. Cross-checked into the boards. Picked his pocket. Got enough of it. Pass to Kovalchuk. Puck loose. Retrieved in the defensive end. To Datsuk. A drive. Brodeur closes the mid on it. And he freezes the puck. A nice job here by Tanguay. Let's take another look, Panger.
That hit will not be forgotten anytime soon.
Draw to the left of the net. One by Sundin. Pass to Roberts. He stripped him. To Pronger. Turns him away. They're looking. Here we go.
Sometimes this has to happen to get it all out.
Players head to the box.
I'm not sure this one is over. They may just start it up again when they return to the ice.
5 minutes apiece for the combatants. This won't change the number of skaters. Alfredson, one of the top players in goals.
He's the type of player you need on your team. He can generate goals in bunches.
Draw in the left circle. Sundin wins the draw. To Roberts. Sundin puts one on goal. Save by Turco. Save. Feeds it across. Sakic has it poked free. Across the blue line. Picks it off. To Roenick. He can't get it. In the corner. Pass to Datsuk. Shot! Denied! Denied! And he holds it for the whistle. A great save by Brodeur. Take another look.
What a save. The shooter was right in his grill and he was still able to make the glove save.
He's an integral part of his team. Draw to the right of the net. Madonna wins the draw. Save by Brodeur. Guerin plays it. Penalty upcoming. Madonna into the box for interference. The Western Conference All-Stars will be a man short.
Madonna begging for his teammates to take him off the hook.
Here's that penalty again.
Madonna has to make some type of an attempt to get the puck.
Face off in the right circle. Doan wins the draw. Pushed aside. Pass a little off. Loose in the corner. Murray takes the puck. Cleared out by Nordstrom. Pass to Doan. Fires the wrist shot. Stopped. Retrieved in the defensive end. At the point. Oh, here's a breakaway all by himself. Turco gloves it.
Oh, Doc, that was nearly a goal.
Let's see that big save again, Darren.
Two great plays in one. First, a great move to get the scoring chance, and then a fabulous save to stuff it.
Face off to the left of the net. Thornton wins the draw. He gloves it, and he decides to stop play. Draw to the left of the net. Draw one by Thornton. Blocks it out of the air. And he holds onto it.
This guy's always a threat to score. When he's on the ice, you got to know where he is at all times.
Face off in the left circle. Thornton wins the draw. Save. And he hangs on. Face off in the left circle. Thornton wins the draw. Turco saves it, and he holds it for the whistle. Draw in the left circle. To Blake. Naslund dumps it on in. Pass to Hossa. Power play half over. To Naslund. One-timer by Marlowe. Got a piece of it.
It drives coaches nuts to miss great chances like that.
Gathered in by Redden. Backhanded. Hossa scores! That one comes on the power play.
The Western Conference All-Stars hopefully learned a lesson. They need to stay out of the box or they're going to pay for it.
Oh, what a shot there. Let's go to the replay.
The key to this goal is position. When you get the puck in that close, you've got to convert.
Face off at center ice.
Eastern All-Stars.
Madano wins the draw. Cross ice pass. Just out of reach. Cross ice to Messier. Across left to Guerin. Madano on a 3-on-2. Saves it.
That was a good chance. They were just unable to convert.
Sends it across. Loses the puck. Pass to Rafalski. Pass to Datsuk. To Nash. Sends it across. Across right. To Iginla. On the attack. Gets him with a cross-check.
If you're not paying attention, you're going to pay the price.
Cut off by Datsuk. Iginla scores! They return the favor.
Talk about a momentum shift. Giving up a goal like that can really deflate a team.
Let's see that one again, Darren.
Brodeur waved his stick at it, but he couldn't make the save. Great goal. Datsuk is always looking to set up his teammates, Doc. That's why he's one of the top assist men in the game right now. Let's see if he can create something right here.
The draw at center ice.
Western Conference
Marlowe
All-Stars
wins the
goal.
draw. Feeds it across. One-timer by Tanguay. St. Louis will end up in the box for cross-checking. The Eastern Conference All-Stars will be short-handed.
Well, that was not a good team play. He really let his teammates down with that penalty.
Let's take another glance at the penalty by St. Louis.
He used his stick as a weapon, and that's a no-no.
Face off to the left of the net. Datsuk wins the draw. Brodeur got a piece of that one. To Datsuk. To Lidstrom. Pass picked off by Roberts. Messier with the puck. Cross ice to Naslin. Cross ice pass. Pickpockets him. To Messier. Sends it across. On goal. What a fantastic pad save. To Datsuk. Didn't get through. Turco, the save. And he decides to stop play. What a hit by Lidstrom. Let's take another look.
He kept his head down. Well, that's what he gets.
St. Louis is the man for this club.
He's always working in the offensive end. His numbers last year reflect how productive he can be.
Face off to the left of the net. A minute left on the man advantage. Pass to Naslin. Intercepted by a coin. Save! And he holds on to it. Draw to the left of the net. Datsuk wins the draw. Wrister, turned away. Can't get through. Denied! Stolen by Stevens. Shoots! There's a delayed penalty. Timonen into the box for hooking. And this ends the power play.
Well, that just gets us back to even strength, killing the power play for the Eastern Conference All-Stars.
Here's that penalty again.
Timonen had no other option than to hook him, and now he'll pay the price.
Face off in the left circle. Thornton wins the draw. Brilliant pad save. Pass to Guerin. To Nordstrom. Cut off by a coin. Pass to Thornton. Doesn't connect. He drops it. Goes with the backhand. The pad save. And he hangs on. Face off in the left circle. Slams one. Eaten up. The Eastern Conference All-Stars begin an abbreviated power play.
They've got to set it up quickly.
Draw to the left of the net. Sundin wins the draw. Fantastic pad save. To Naslund. Big shot. He won't allow it. Puck in the corner. Retrieved in the defensive end. Picked off. To St. Louis. Here they come on a 2-on-1. His drive. Stopped. Blocked. Power play half over. Pass to Thornton. Hossa brings it across the blue line into the offensive zone. To the trailer. Pass to Niedermeyer. Feeds it across. Thornton suffers a bone-jarring hit. Loose puck. Punched away by Hossa. To Doan. Breakaway. Shot. Denied with the blocker.
Oh, Doc, what a brilliant save.
He shoots. Denied. Gathered in by Nordstrom. Popped out of play. Brodeur stops the one-timer. Here it is again.
Holy jumping. He shot that one from just outside the crease, and the goalie was still able to make the blocker save.
He's a great leader for his team. Draw in the left circle. Sundin wins the draw. Time winding down on this power play, and he freezes the puck. Draw to the left of the net. Sundin wins the draw. Off the pads. St. Louis races over to get it. A one-timer. Got a blocker on it. The save. Cross-ice pass. The Western Conference All-Stars back at full strength. Boynton with a shot. Save. To Guerin. The shot. Bad save by Brodeur. To Messier. Excellent team play exhibited on both ends of the rink by the West. Sends it across. Dangerous pass. Kachuk feeds it to the center. Denied. Redden clears it. To Roberts. Backhands it. Denied with the blocker. Alfredson gets control. Shut down. Pass to Datsuk. Into the offensive zone. He fires. Gloved it. And he holds it for the whistle. A big hit by Kachuk. Let's see it again.
Just watching the replay hurts me.
Brodeur really does his job well. Face off to the left of the net. Roenick wins the draw. Turco rejects it.
You gotta use everything you have to make that save.
And he holds on to it. Draw in the right circle. Thornton wins the draw. Big shot to Naslund. Feeds it across at the point. Drops it. Pass to Bertuzzi. Shot blocked. Off the mark. Pass to Kovalchuk. Shot knocked away. Tanguay gets control. Pass back. Sends it across. Cross check. He backhands it. Turned away. Lidstrom controls the puck. It's poked free. He turns it over. Pass picked off by Lang. Drop to Boynton. Pass to Yager. They score! They blasted by him on the one-timer.
Brilliant one-timer.
He riddled the goalie. Take another look.
Number 35 never had a chance there, Mike. His defensemen have got to make sure the shooter doesn't get a shot from that close.
Draw at center ice.
Eastern Conference All-Star.
Roenick wins the draw. Across right.
Jaromir Jagr.
Back to the trailer. Intercepted.
Robert Lang. And Nick
To the left point. To Iginla. Intercepted by Hossa. Dropped. Shut down. We've got two going at it. The fight is on.
Here we go, Mike. Hey, some people hate fighting in hockey, but it's part of the game.
The guys are resting in the box, so the players are back out.
Well, that really put some life into the crowd.
5 minutes each for fighting. The number of players on the ice will remain the same here. Draw in the left circle. Datsuk wins the draw. The Western Conference All-Stars playing very well as a unit with this group hanger. Pass to Nash. backhander. The Eastern Conference All-Stars will be called for the penalty. Murray called for hooking. The Eastern Conference All-Stars will be a man short.
This penalty could really come back to haunt them.
Here's that penalty again.
Murray, very tired, and just used his stick to impede the other man's progress.
Face off in the left circle. Turco denies him. Puck loose. And he hangs on. Face off in the left circle. Messier wins the draw. One time. Hits the trailer. Knifed away by Bertuzzi. Puck loose. Back to the point. Pass to Sakic. Brodeur has now stopped 30 shots, Darren.
He's been a wall, Doc, and his team's leading because of it.
Pass to Tanguay. Picks it off. Poked away by Alfredson. Pass to Tanguay. Datsuk blasts it. Steered away. Can't get through. On the rush to Stevens. Cut off by Datsuk. Across the blue line. That one out of reach. A minute left on the man advantage. Dumped in by Roenick. Pass to Naslund. Picked off. Can't reach the pass. Loose puck. Cleared out by a coin. Naslund to the point. One-timer by Blake. Turns him away. Guerin retrieves it. Pass picked off by Alfredson to Messier. Time winding down on this power play. Pass to Datsuk. Flipped out by Pronger. Stevens touches up for the icing. Draw in the right circle. Roenick wins the draw. Hit the goal post. He shoots. Saved with the chest to Bertuzzi. The Eastern Conference All-Stars back at full strength.
This kill might give them some momentum.
Stevens with the puck. Pass to Thornton. Shooting. Got a pad on it. St. Louis had it, lost it. Cleared out by Modano. There, whistled for icing, will go to the other end. Kovalchuk into the box for obstruction hooking. The Eastern Conference All-Stars will be short-handed.
This is not the type of play you look for when you have the lead.
Here's that penalty again.
When you hook a man on the open ice, you're sure to get called for it.
Face off and neutral ice. Pass a bit off. Recovered by Kuba. Intercepted by Nordstrom. Shooting. Got a blocker on it. Gathered in by a coin. The Eastern Conference All-Stars changing it up. He backhands it. Save. And he decides to stop play. Face off to the right of the net. Roenick wins the draw with a shot. And he holds it for the whistle. Face off in the right circle. Messier wins the draw. Save! And he freezes the puck. Draw to the right of the net. Sakic wins the draw. Pass to Naslund. The shot. Stopped.
Had the great chance. He just couldn't convert.
And he holds on to it. Face off to the right of the net. Datsuk wins the draw. Brodeur has notched 35 saves in this one. Tanguay chases it down. A drive. Pushed aside. Nash hustles to it. Niedermeyer flips it out of the zone. Intercepted. Cross-ice pass. Naslund moving in. One-timer by Sakic. Off the pads. Stick check. Shooting. Deflects it with a pad. Takes a shot. Score! Brodeur beaten by his own team. What a shame.
This is really an awful break here. There's no one to blame.
Let's see that one again, Darren.
In the blink of an eye, we're all tied up.
Draw at center ice.
Western
Madano
All-Star
wins the
power
draw.
play goal. Scored by Joe Sakic.
Pass to Kuba.
Unassisted.
Didn't get through. A 3-on-2
1 minute
here.
remaining in
Picks
the
it off.
period.
Pass to Rafalski. Can't get through. On the attack. Madano shooting. Rings the post. He can't get the pass. Cleared out by Boynton. To Guerin. The period almost over. To Nash. The drive. Blocks it out of the air. And he decides to stop play. Wow, massive collision. Look again.
In the morning, he's sure gonna feel that one. He's a guy that'll take a penalty every once in a while, but you see there he can deliver the big hit as well.
Draw in the right circle. Marlowe wins the draw. Denied with the shoulder. Flipped out by Sundin. Backhander. He gloves it. And he hangs on. Face off to the right of the net. Sakic wins the draw. To Bertuzzi. That wraps up one full period. And these two are embattled in a 3-3 tie so far. So Darren, tell us what you thought about that opening period.
Iginla provided the offensive spark for them in the first period, Doc, and it looks like he doesn't plan on slowing down in the second. If he continues to get these openings, this could be a career night for him.
One thing's sure, he's going to get plenty of ice time.
Congratulations to Mike Emmerich, who was named the smartest man in hockey once again. Way to go, Doc.
The Western Conference All-Stars are getting more breaks, but it doesn't show in the score.
Well, they can't say they didn't get their chances if they lose this one.
Congratulations goes out to Mia Fox. You have won the most beautiful woman in the arena contest. Congratulations. You are so beautiful.
All set for the start of the second period. Sakic wins the draw. Intercepted. Saves it. Niedermeyer with the puck. Pass to a coin. Sends it across. The Eastern Conference All-Stars ruled offside.
The ref was right on top of that one, Doc.
The draw in the neutral zone. He can't get it. Lang plays it. Stolen by Timonen. Pronger knocks it down. Yager pokes it away. Nash moving it into the zone. Cut off by Redden. To Yager. Won't get there. Loose in the corner. The Eastern Conference All-Stars go for a line change. Pass to Datsuk. Didn't get through. Pass picked off by Pronger. Icing will face it off at the other end. Draw in the left circle. Sakic wins the draw. Bertuzzi with a shot. Denied! Pass to Alfredson. Pass to Sundin. Pass to the point. Quick shot. Had it away. Roberts gets control. He loses it. Pass to Marlowe. Tanguay feeds it to the center. Shoots. Got a stick on it. Roenick got to the puck first and keeps play alive. Blake flips it out. Pass to St. Louis. Cross ice to Thornton. A drive. Huge pad save.
He's taken the game upon his shoulders.
Pass to St. Louis. The puck poked free. To Madano. Wrist shot. Puck knocked away. Loose puck. Picked up by Guerin. Pass to Messier. Pass to Lang. Pass to Naslin. Intercepted by Redden. Cut off by Hossa. Cross-ice pass. Back to Stevens. Drives one towards the net. Got enough of it. Naslund with the stick check. That one out of reach. Stripped by Stevens. Save! Kuba with the puck. Centers the puck. He grabs it. And he holds it for the whistle. Draw to the left of the net. Datsuk wins the draw. Brodeur, the save. And he holds on to it. He does the little things you need to do to win. Draw in the left circle. Marlowe wins the draw. Stopped. And he decides to stop play. Draw to the left of the net. Sundin wins the draw. Alfredson on a 3-on-2. Turco with the glove save. And he hangs on. Face off in the right circle. One back by Thornton. Got some lumber on it. St. Louis with the puck. Picked his pocket. Big blast. Score! No time to react on that quick one-timer.
Turco beaten by that quick one-timer.
Another look will show us how great that goal really was.
Number 35 saw the puck, but he just couldn't close the glove on it in time. Boy, Doc, the goalie didn't have a prayer on that shot. With Kovalchuk's speed and dynamic moves, it's just a matter of time before the lamp is lit.
The draw at center ice.
Eastern Conference
One back by
All-Star
Lang. He loses it. Yager takes the puck. Big blast. Up into the stands. Face off in the left circle. Sundin wins the draw. Denied by the pillows. Alfredson gets control. Sundin drop pass. The slap shot. Alfredson finds the back of the net. They're lighting up the scoreboard.
Oh, they really got things going out there. Flying up and down the ice.
A nice one-timer there, Panger. Let's see that again.
I'd get the heck out of the way of that thing, too, if I was the goalie.
The draw at center ice. Madano wins the draw. Lost the puck.
Daniel Alfredson. The assist to
Picks it off.
Gary Roberts. And
Loose in front.
Stevens.
The Eastern Conference All-Stars change up the lines. Puck loose. Lost it to Guerin. Pickpockets him. Pass a little off. They move in. Timonen pokes it away. The Western Conference All-Stars changing it up. Kachuk brings it across the blue line into the offensive zone. Loose puck. Chased down by Naslund. To Alfredson. The Eastern Conference All-Stars change it up. Feeds it across. Just out of reach. Roberts has it stick free. Sakic controls it. Puck out in front. Pass to Kovalchuk. Sends it across. Can't get through. St. Louis knocks a man off his feet. Puts one on goal. Rejected by Brodeur.
He refuses to give in. Great save.
Nash knocks a man off his feet. Iginla sends it across. Unloads a bullet.
The Eastern Conference All-Stars is bringing everything they've got, Doc. If there's a weak link on this line, they're not showing it.
Denied. Kuba with the puck. Pass to Doan. Into the offensive zone. In the corner. Tanguay drops it. Cross-ice pass. Pass to Doan. Intercepted. To Roenick. Left behind. Off the board. Guerin flips it back. He has it stick free. Murray gets control. Feeds it across. Turco sticks it away. Madonna sends it across. Brings it across the blue line into the offensive zone. Kachuk controls the puck. To Lang. On the rush. Pass to Yager. Got a piece of it.
That's a good scoring opportunity. It goes down as a quality chance.
The Western Conference All-Stars with plenty of scoring chances, but they're not paying off.
Mike, the only stat that matters is goals, and they're not winning now.
Face off to the left of the net. Datsuk wins the draw. Loose behind the net. Stevens will clear. Cross-ice pass to Alfredson. To Tanguay. Feeds it across. The backhand. The save. And he freezes the puck. Brodeur is the one that makes this team tick. Draw to the right of the net. Thornton wins the draw. Drives one towards the net. Denied. Knocked away. Pass to Sakic. Nailed by a cross-check. Taken by Bertuzzi. Brodeur has stopped an incredible 55 shots in this one.
He's been playing out of his mind, Doc.
To Roenick. He won't allow it. To Iginla. Sanders. The Eastern Conference All-Stars are going to be called for a penalty. Hossa called for hooking. The Western Conference All-Stars will go on the power play.
They need a goal here as they find themselves trailing in this hockey game.
Here's that penalty again.
I don't blame him for hooking him, but if it's that obvious, you're going to get whistled. Here's a guy that has a habit of scoring goals in bunches. He's already scored twice, so another hat-trick is just a slap shot away.
Draw in the left circle. Roenick wins the draw. On goal. Blocked. Gathered in by Timonen. Nobody back. Shut down. Loose puck. He turns it over. Sends it across. Blocked. A coin up with it. Save. Puck loose to Iginla. A coin sends it in. Flips it in. The Eastern Conference All-Stars with a line change. Feeds it across. To Datsuk. Pass intercepted. Roenick ahead with it. Hit the post with the shot. And he holds onto it. Nice save by Brodeur. Here it is again.
Well, Brodeur won the Vezina Trophy for the second consecutive season in 2004, so he can make plays like that in his sleep, Doc.
Draw in the right circle. Datsuk wins the draw. Drops it. Sends it across. Didn't get through. Across right. Across the blue line. The wrist shot. Eaten up. And he holds it for the whistle. Is that legal? What a vicious hit.
When you're not aware of all that's around you, this type of hit can occur.
Face off in the left circle. The shot! Tremendous pad save! Sakic plays it. Brodeur saves it. Retrieved in the defensive end. Shut down! Less than a minute remaining on the power play. Puts it on goal. Got a piece of it. Roberts hammers him.
Feisty game with both teams doing a lot of checking.
To a coin. The Western Conference All-Stars go for a line change. To the trailer. Loose in front. The penalty is over.
Not much they could do against this penalty-killing unit. They just worked real hard out there.
Roberts delivers the big blow. Take another look.
One of the more important lessons a player learns is to keep his head up at all times. This is what happens when you don't.
Face off to the right of the net. Madano wins the draw. Saves it. Can't reach the pass. To Thornton. Dropped. St. Louis puts one on goal. Across to the point. He one-times it. Thornton finds the back of the net. The goalie may have whiplash after that passing.
He struck it well and froze the goalie on that one.
Thornton gets the shot he wanted. Let's take another look.
Number 35 tried to stop it with his blocker, but had no luck. Just a great scoring chance and effort. You know, Doc, Joe Thornton just such a big factor in the game for the Bruins on offense.
Face off at center ice.
Eastern Conference
Draw
All-Stars
one
goal.
by Lang.
Scores
Sends it across.
Joe Thornton. The assist two.
tees it up. Turco saves it.
And Ryan Rafalski.
Doan to the right point. To Yager. Stolen by Pronger. Picked off. Save. And he hangs on. Draw in the left circle. Thornton wins the draw. Turco, the save. A drive. Save. To Nash. Saved with the chest. Datsuk will end up in the box for slashing. The Western Conference All-Stars will be a man short.
This is not the route you want to take to get back in the game.
Here's another look at the penalty by Datsuk.
You can't swing the stick at an opposing player like that, Mike. That's slashing all the way.
Draw in the right circle. Sundin wins the draw. With a wrist shot. Denied with the blocker. Murray with the puck. Pass picked off by Lidstrom. Stopped. And he decides to stop play. Brodeur sets the tone for this team. As he goes, so do they. Draw to the left of the net. Pronger shooting. Brodeur has been getting shelled, but he's making the stop, Panger.
Anytime you have a guy playing that well in goal, you give yourself a chance.
Denied. Controlled by Kovalchuk. Pass picked off by Aginla. Lost it to Hossa. Kovalchuk finds the back of the net. A couple of quick goals by the Eastern Conference All-Stars.
The offense is operating like a well-oiled machine right now.
The one-timer finds the back of the net. Let's see that again.
He just went top shelf on him, Doc. Number 35 couldn't catch up to it.
Face off at center ice. Sundin wins the draw. They move in. To Roberts. Doesn't connect.
The assist to
Alfredson with the puck. Brodeur leaves the crease. Blake into the box for hooking. The Eastern Conference All-Stars will go on the power play.
A terrible penalty for the Western Conference All-Stars.
Blake is whistled for the penalty. Here it is again.
The man was past him and he just reached out and hooked him to impede his progress. Easy call.
Face off in the right circle. Thornton wins the draw. Huge pad save. Lidstrom plays it. Shot. Swallowed by the glove. And he freezes the puck. Face off in the right circle. Sundin wins the draw. Denies him with the pad. Drops it. He shoots. Another goal by the Eastern Conference All-Stars.
Wow, they're flying up and down the ice right now.
Here's another look at the wrister by Sundin.
When a guy gets a shot from that close, the goalie doesn't stand a chance.
The draw at center ice.
Eastern All-Stars.
Madonna wins the draw.
Scored Mats Sundin. The assist to
Cross-ice pass.
Murray.
Picked his pocket. Messier has it poked away. Passes back. Intercepted by Kuba. Pass to Madonna. Big cross-check.
That was absolutely brutal.
Guerin pokes it away. Stevens gets control. Dangerous pass. Feeds it across. Across left. Murray moving in. One-timer by Roenick. Save. Rockets one. Pass to Naslund. On the attack. Shoots. Denied with the blocker. Recovered by Bertuzzi. He gloves it. And he holds onto it. What a save by Turco. That's worth another look.
That kind of save gives your entire team more confidence.
Draw in the right circle. Datsuk wins the draw. Got a blocker on it. Rafalski flips it ahead. To Nash. Cut off by Sundin. On the backhand. Turns him away. Roberts with the puck. Tremendous pad save.
Great use of the pads there.
Brings it across the blue line into the offensive zone. Plucks it out of the air. And he hangs on. Brodeur is the one this team rallies around. Face off to the left of the net. Into the slot. Fires. Fantastic pad save. Pickpockets him. Over to Marlowe. Brodeur has been getting shelled, but he's making the stop panger.
He's made save after save tonight, Doc. He's refusing to let his team lose.
Jabbed away by Blake. Over to Sakic. Rister. Denied. Niedermeyer takes the puck. Cross-checked into the boards. He scores! Brodeur gives up a wicked one-timer by Naslund.
Right by the goalie with that one-timer.
What a shot by Naslund. Here's another look.
That might be the spark that will set this home crowd on fire.
The draw at center ice.
Western Conference
Madonna
All-Stars
wins
goal.
the draw.
Scored by
Pass picked off
Marcus
by Alfredson. To Roberts.
Assisted by Todd Bertuzzi.
Stevens tries to keep it in. Backhanded shot. Denied. And he decides to stop play. Face off in the left circle. Datsuk wins the draw. To Nash. Shot! Turned away. To Kovalchuk. To Rafalski. To Kovalchuk. Can't get through. Puck loose. Recovered by Datsuk. Left for the trailer. Intercepted by Roenick. 3 attackers on the goalie. Stopped. Hossa gets control. Pass to Naslund. Sakic moving it into the zone. Poked away. Dangerous pass. To Roenick. Picks it off. Sakic leaves it for the trailer. He can't get it. Puck controlled by Naslund. Pass to Murray. He dumps it in. Turco rejects it. Pass to Doan. On the rush. One-timer. Got enough of it. Marlowe chases it down. Blocked. Loose puck. Niedermeyer loses the puck. To Lang. Shoots. Pushed aside. The Eastern Conference All-Stars change up the lines. To Pronger. Can't get there. Loose in the corner. Retrieved in the defensive end. Pass to Kovalchuk. Got a blocker on it. Pass to Iginla. The pass off the mark. Loose in the corner. Stevens gets control. Cut off by Nash. Had it, lost it. St. Louis races over to get it. Across right. Didn't get through. Picked off. Pass a bit off. To Redden. Roberts feeds it to the center. Turco saves it. Pass to Nash. The Western Conference All-Stars on a line change. He can't get the pass. Pass to Sakic. His drive. Knocked away by Brodeur. Just out of reach. Naslund with a shot. The pad save. And he holds it for the whistle. Oh, what a save there. Let's go to the replay.
Doc, when the games matter most, Brodeur's the guy you want in there. He's already passed the 400-win milestone, and he's not even close to being finished.
Face-off in the left circle. Marlowe wins the draw. One-times it. To Yager. Pass to Tanguay. Fires the wrist shot. Knocks it home. That one-timer was by him before he could say goal.
Just not enough time for the goaltender to get across, Doc.
That goal is worth another look.
The home crowd has been waiting for something to cheer about, and now they've got it.
Draw at center ice.
Western Conference All-Stars goal.
To Madano.
Scored by Alex
Cut off by Hossa. To Murray.
Assisted by
Sends it across. Into the offensive zone. Puck knocked away. Recovered by Hossa. Misses the mark. Pass to Madano. Brodeur makes the stop. Retrieved in the defensive end. Deflected with the shoulder. The Eastern Conference All-Stars changing it up. Pronger touches it up and gets the icing call. Face off to the left of the net. Face off won by Thornton. Pass to Kovalchuk. The shot! Got a pad on it.
He's taken the game upon his shoulders.
Didn't get through. Brings it across the blue line into the offensive zone. Deflected by Brodeur. Pass to Stevens. Cross-ice pass. Hits the trailer. To Naslund. Nordstrom pokes it away. To Naslund. They move in. Shot. The save. Shot. Off the pads. And he holds onto it. Turco comes up big on the save here. Let's take another look.
Now, you got to hand it to the goalie there. It looked like he wouldn't be able to make the save, but somehow he found a way.
Draw in the left circle. Sundin wins the draw. Roberts plays it. Pass back. Pass to Iginla. Shut down. To Sundin. Alfredson brings it across the blue line into the offensive zone. He won't allow it. Lidstrom sticks it away. Pass to Madano. Shot. Deflects it with a pad.
He was right there.
Guerin loses it. Pass picked off by Messier. To Yager. Feeds it across. Intercepted. Can't get through. The Western Conference All-Stars change it up. Hossa pokes it away. Gloved it. And he freezes the puck. And a great job in net here by Brodeur. Let's take another look, Panger.
How about that move? Better yet, how about that save?
Face off to the right of the net. To Redden.
One minute remaining in the
Kuba with a shot. Patted away.
That was a close call.
Draw in the left circle. Roenick wins the draw. Hossa with a shot. Got a piece of it. Pass to Timonen. Pass to Sakic. Brodeur sticks it away. Roberts sends it across. And he decides to stop play. Face off to the right of the net. Datsuk wins the draw. Period's drawing to a close. To Nash, at the point, cross-ice pass. To Datsuk, 20 seconds left in the period. Feeds it across, sends it across. Back to the trailer. Intercepted by Yager. Pass to Lang. Can't reach the pass. That's the end of 2 periods. The Eastern Conference All-Stars enjoying a 3-goal lead here. There were some solid efforts out there after 2. Good game so far by Kovalchuk.
What a brilliant game he's having. They'll need to keep him in check the rest of the way.
May I have your attention, please? Would Monty Mudd please report to the lost and found in the main concourse? We've located your pro pet. Attention fans, today's game is being sponsored by the folks down at Arnold's Drive-In. Come by and see Dennis, Tom, and the gang.
We're moments away from the start of the third period. Sakic wins the draw. Pass to the point. Bertuzzi feeds it across. Didn't get through. Puck in the corner. To Bertuzzi. Shooting. Eaten up. The Western Conference All-Stars changing it up. And he holds it for the whistle. Take another look at that huge hit.
The open ice hits are usually the ones where you see a major injury. That was vicious.
Brodeur earns his salary, Darren. Face off in the right circle. Sundin wins the draw. Pass to Alfredson. Shut down. And he hangs on. A save like that one deserves another look.
The shot rode up high on him, but he stayed with it and made the save. Well done.
Face off in the left circle. Lang wins the draw. Turco snags it, and he holds onto it. Face off in the left circle. Face off one by Medano. And he decides to stop play. Face off to the left of the net. To the trailer. To Messier. Lang dumps it in. Save. Puck loose in front. Lost it to Lidstrom. To Datsuk. He drops it. To Iginla. Lang takes it up ice. Yager sends it across. Brodeur hurries off the ice. To Messier. Doesn't connect. Knocked away. Play stops as a penalty is called. Iginla into the box for slashing. The Western Conference All-Stars will be short-handed.
Iginla hoping that there is some way that his teammates can kill this penalty and get him off the hook.
Here's that penalty again.
He swings the stick at the opponent like a madman. That's an obvious slashing call there, Doc.
Face-off in the neutral zone. Sundin wins the draw. Pass a little off. Cut off by Naslund. A coin with the puck. Loose puck. Controlled by St. Louis. Across the blue line. Blocked. Murray. Save by Turco. To Kachuk. Doan moving in. Kachuk with a shot. Got a piece of it. Cross ice pass. pass to Hossa. The centering pass. Thornton lets it fly. Save. Flips it in. To Hossa. Power play half over. Brings it across the blue line into the offensive zone. Great pad save.
He refuses to give in. Great save.
Nudged free by Naslund. He turns it over. He grabs it. And he freezes the puck. Here's that save again, Panger.
This is a great job using the blocker to make the save on a shot from right in front of the net.
Brodeur, a big contributor to this team, Panger. Face off in the right circle. To Sundin. Picked off. Turco saves it. Less than a minute remaining on the power play. Got a stick on it. Flipped in. On the attack. Rister. Knocked away. Kovalchuk with the puck. Pass to Tanguay. He fires. Knocked away. Iginla set to come out of the box.
Dot, the power play unit met their match right there. Great work by the defensive unit.
Pass to Lang. Intercepted to Datsuk. To Iginla. Stopped. The Western Conference All-Stars go for a line change. And he holds it for the whistle. The replay will show us that save again.
When the goalie makes this kind of save, you just have to shake your head.
Brodeur always gives a solid effort. Draw to the left of the net. Cross ice to Yager. Messier feeds it to the center. Can't get through. Dangerous pass. Pass to Alfredson. Into the offensive zone. Picks it off. To Timonen. Naslund gets plowed. Oh, my. To Naslund. To the point. Pass a bit off. Across right. Left behind. Denied by the Pillows. And he holds onto it. Let's take another look at that big hit. Draw to the left of the net. Datsuk wins the draw. Snag by Brodeur. And he hangs on. Draw in the left circle. Marlowe wins the draw. Saves it. And he freezes the puck. Draw in the right circle. One by Datsuk. Save. And he decides to stop play. Brodeur does just what the team needs, Panger. Face off to the right of the net. Cross ice pass. Pass to Yager. Rockets one. They score! He never had a chance on that beautiful one-timer.
Outstanding one-timer.
They don't get much better than that. Let's see it again.
Great job going up top with that shot. Number 35 couldn't get up there to stop it. This is a guy that just makes things happen when he's on the ice. As a defender, you have to try and separate him from the puck before he gets a good look at the net.
Draw at center ice.
Eastern Conference All-Stars goal.
Pass to Iginla.
Mark Messier.
The shot. He missed the net. Pass to Datsuk. Huge pad save.
You've got to use everything you have to make that save.
Karam's off the boards.
The goalie not challenged on that one.
Pass to Hossa. Datsuk controls it. At the point. He shoots. Save. Stevens controls the puck. Pass to Roberts. Cross ice to Sundin. Shooting. Denied. Lidstrom back to get it. Pass to Sakic. Blocks it out of the air. And he holds onto it. Draw in the right circle. Marlowe wins the draw. Off the pads.
He's taken the game upon his shoulders.
Pass to Rafalski. To Lang. Cleared out by Tanguay. Dropped to Timonen. Loads it up and fires. Denied. And he hangs on. Face off to the right of the net. Sakic wins the draw. What a fantastic pad save! Pass to Bertuzzi. He shoots. Turns him away. Won't get there. The Eastern Conference All-Stars are going to be called for a penalty. Hossa called for slashing. The Eastern Conference All-Stars will be a man short.
Not a good penalty for the Eastern Conference All-Stars.
Here's another look at the penalty by Hossa.
Slashing all the way here, Doc. You can't swing the stick like that without heading to the penalty box.
Face off in the right circle. To Roberts. Goes with the backhand. Turco closes the mid on it. And he holds it for the whistle. Face off in the left circle. Datsuk wins the draw. Nash on a 3-on-2. Shut down. Tanguay races over to get it. Hits the trailer. Denied with the blocker. Just out of reach. Taken by Datsuk. Pass picked off by Alfredson. Turco! Too quick. And he freezes the puck. A coin with a crunching hit. Face off to the left of the net. Roenick wins the draw. Stopped! And he decides to stop play. Draw in the left circle. Roenick wins the draw. Tremendous pad save.
Great use of the pads there.
Slap shot. Turco found it in the webbing of his glove. And he hangs on. Face off in the right circle. Sakic wins the draw. Flips it ahead. A minute left on the man advantage. Drops it. Roenick pokes it away. A drive. He won't allow it.
Oh, almost.
Feeds it across. Roenick taken down and hard. Oh. Pass to Rafalski. To the trailer. Takes a shot. Turned away. To Blake. To Naslund. Time running down on the man advantage. Denied with the blocker. The Western Conference All-Stars changing it up. On the rush. Brilliant pad save. Turco hustles to it. The Western Conference All-Stars shun their power play opportunity, coming up empty-handed this time. And he holds it for the whistle. Iginla with a big hit. Here it is again.
Ouch, Doc. Just a brutal check with the elbow. He's gonna feel that one later.
Draw to the right of the net. To St. Louis. Odd man rush. Turco broke up the play. He can't get the pass. To St. Louis. Denied. And he holds on to it. Draw to the left of the net. Roenick wins the draw. Deflected with the shoulder. Pass to Tanguay. Stevens knocks a man off his feet. Redden plays it. That one out of reach. Goes to the corner. Lidstrom takes the puck. Cross ice to Tanguay. Got an odd man rush. Saved with the body. Blocked. Pass to Kovalchuk. They move in. He didn't get much wood on that one. Snatched out of the air. And he freezes the puck. Redden makes a nice play here, Darren. Draw to the left of the net. Datsuk wins the draw. To Timonen. Didn't get through. Datsuk moving it into the zone. Intercepted. To Lang. Across the blue line. Backhands it. Denies him with the pad.
He refuses to give in. Great save.
Face off in the left circle. Sakic wins the draw. Pass to Blake. To Naslund. Drop. To Kovalchuk. He drops it. Backhanded. Left behind. Tremendous pad save. Pushed aside. Over to Naslund. Sakic moving it into the zone. Niedermeyer will end up in the box for elbowing. The Eastern Conference All-Stars will be short-handed.
As a coach, you tell your players to stay away from that kind of penalty.
Here's that penalty again.
You can't use the old elbows to slow down the progress of an opponent. That's an easy elbowing call here.
Draw in the right circle. With a shot. Brodeur knocked it away. Puck at center. Roenick up with it. Winds up and fires. The save. Timonen with the puck. Save by Turco. And he hangs on. Draw in the right circle. Messier wins the draw. Save. Gathered in by Alfredson. Pass to Sakic. Saved with the body. And he decides to stop play. That save is worth another look.
Naslund thought he had a goal, but he's shut down.
Draw in the left circle. Messier wins the draw. Shooting. Huge pad save. To Naslund. Sent in front. Blocked. Punched away by a coin. Sakic follows. Centering pass. Takes a shot. Sent back to the point. Power play half over. To Datsuk. Shoots. Got a blocker on it. Solid cross-check. Picked his pocket. Stopped. He can't control it. To Datsuk. Centering feed. Hits the trailer. Shot! Off the pads. To Nash. Passed it to the wrong jersey. Save. Less than a minute remaining on the penalty. To Iginla. Drop pass. To Sakic. Big blast. Gloved it. And he holds it for the whistle. He's one of the best in power play goals.
He needs time and space. When they're on the power play, he's absolutely deadly.
Face off to the right of the net. Messier wins the draw. Penalty call upcoming. Lidstrom called for slashing. And this will even things out.
Lidstrom just made a boneheaded play on that penalty, costing his team the rest of their power play.
Here's that penalty again.
You can see him just swinging away with the stick, and the referee will call slashing on that every single time.
Face off to the left of the net. Madonna wins the draw. Goes with the backhand. The Eastern Conference All-Stars begin an abbreviated power play. Knocks it home. They get the shorthanded goal.
A major error there. You can't relax on the power play, or you're going to get burnt just like that.
Here's another peek at the backhander by Madonna.
He took the puck in the low slot, and then he did what they pay him to do. Pay the price and score a goal.
The draw at center ice.
Western Conference
Doan
All-Stars
wins the
goal.
draw.
Scored by
Centers the puck.
Mike
Pass to the point. Pronger feeds it to the center.
Bill Guerin.
To Doan. On goal. That shot's wide. Pass to Hossa. Passes back. In the corner. Retrieved in the defensive end. Pass to Sundin. Quick shot. The pad save. Picked off. Naslund gets his bell rung. Wow.
Man, oh man, that was like a train wreck.
A minute left on the man advantage. Sends it across to Murray. Backhander. Swallowed by the glove. And he freezes the puck. Oh, what a hit by Blake. Take another look.
That hit could be heard and felt all the way up here. This game is not for the faint of heart, folks, as you can plainly see.
Face off to the right of the net. Doan wins the draw. Shut down. Across right. Thornton gathers it in. To Hossa. Save. Nordstrom gets control. To Sundin. Less than a minute remaining on the power play. Big shot. Turco denies him. Steered away. St. Louis finds the back of the net. A quick response by the East.
I don't think they know what just happened. Their fire was sent right back at them.
Wrist shot finds the back of the net. Let's take another look.
You see here how he goes top shelf, and the goalie really never has a chance.
Face off at center ice.
Eastern All-Stars power
To
play.
Bertuzzi. The shot. The Eastern Conference All-Stars are going to be called for a penalty. Lang into the box for spearing. The Eastern Conference All-Stars will be a man short.
Yeah, that penalty comes at a good time for the Western Conference All-Stars.
Lang is called for the penalty. Let's take another look.
When you attack an opponent with the point of your stick, you're going to get sent to the penalty box every single time.
Face off in the left circle. Roenick wins the draw. Pass to Roberts. On the attack. He throws a cross-check. Gathered in by Pronger. Dangerous pass. The drive. Puck knocked away. Pass to Tanguay. Score! They quickly respond to the last goal.
That's just what they needed. You can't allow your opponent to score back-to-back.
Let's see that one again, Darren.
He just went top shelf on him, Doc. Brodeur couldn't catch up to it.
The draw at center ice.
Western
Sakic
All-Stars
wins the draw.
power play goal.
A one-timer. Save!
Tanguay. Assisted by Rick Nash.
Backhander. Turns him away. Lang gets a glass shower on that cross-check. Here's another look at the big hit by Lidstrom.
You gotta see it again to believe that one, folks.
Draw to the right of the net. Draw one by Sundin. Shut down. To Doan. Feeds one out in front. Got a piece of it. Retrieved in the defensive end. Over to Sundin. To the right point. One time. Score. The answer is heard loud and clear.
Always nice to answer a goal with one of your own. Great job there.
Sundin unleashes a one-timer for the goal. Let's take another look.
Excellent job raising the puck high into the net. The goalie really thought he was going to go down low.
Face off at center ice.
Eastern Conference
One back
All-Stars
by
goal.
Sakic.
Scored Eastern Conference.
Puts one on goal. Brodeur got a piece of that one. To Murray. They score! Let's see that one again, Darren.
Wow, that's the kind of goal that can break a team's back.
The draw at center ice.
Eastern Conference
Lang
All-Star
wins the
goal.
draw.
Scored by
Dumped in, saves it,
an
and he
unassisted
holds
goal.
onto it. Draw to the left of the net. Roenick wins the draw. A drive. He backhands it. Denied. To Nash. The shot. Fantastic pad save. To Sundin. Into the offensive zone. Loose puck. Pickpockets him. He turns it over. They move in. Penalty coming up. Bertuzzi called for hooking. The Eastern Conference All-Stars skating with a man advantage.
A terrible penalty for the Western Conference All-Stars.
Here's that penalty again.
He had his stick all over him, and the referee had no choice but to call it.
Face off in the left circle. Thornton wins the draw. To Kovalchuk on the rush. Shot. Had it away.
He's taken the game upon his shoulders.
They score. A couple of quick goals by the East.
Doc, can these guys be stopped? They're up and down the ice.
And here's another look at the slap shot by Hossa.
Number 35 stuck his glove out, but he couldn't come up with the puck. That's just a great shot.
Draw at center ice.
Eastern All-Stars power play goal. Scored by Marian Hossa. Assisted by Ilya Kovalchuk.
Naslund blasted with a jarring smash.
Now, you don't want to be on the wrong end of too many of those.
Puck loose at center. Lidstrom pokes it away. Messier ahead with it. Stolen by Lidstrom. Can't get through. A 3-on-2 here. Naslund with a shot. Got a blocker on it. Sakic plays it. Pass a little off. Shot knocked away. Tanguay with the puck. Back to the trailer. Got a pad on it. Rafalski gets control. Across left. Cross ice to Hossa. Doesn't connect. Pass back. The slap shot. Denied. Pronger chases it down. Pass to Marlowe. Slap shot. Huge pad save.
You gotta use everything you have to make that save.
Pass to Sundin. Cross ice pass. On the backhand. Turned away.
You gotta love the goalie that answered the challenge.
Pass to Datsuk. Off the pads.
Stopped at point-blank range.
And he hangs on. A great save by Turco. Here it is again.
Oh, he knows he missed a good scoring chance there, Doc. Those are the kinds of opportunities that don't come around very often.
Face off in the right circle. Lang wins the draw. Picks it off. That was a hard cross-check.
Boy, was he punished.
Bounces it in. Bertuzzi brings it across the blue line into the offensive zone. Eaten up. And he decides to stop play. Holy mackerel, that save just makes you shake your head.
He got a good look at the net, but he just couldn't knock it past him. That's a great save.
Draw in the right circle. To Murray. Feeds it across. Hossa with the puck. He can't get it. Got enough of it. Nordstrom plays it. Pass to Iginla. Big blast. He scores. The puck hits the post and sneaks in.
Brodeur had that one sneak past him.
Here's that goal again, Panger.
Okay, that'll give the home crowd something to scream about.
The draw at center ice.
Western Conference All-Stars
Pass to Bertuzzi.
scored by
He one-times it. Lights the lamp.
the assist
A
to
quick flurry of goals by the West.
This is what your team needs to win games. They wasted little time to light up the board again.
Sakic flicks his wrist and the lamp is lit. Here's another look.
The shot came in low and the goalie just couldn't do anything about it.
Face off at center ice.
Western Conference All-Stars goal.
Pass
Scored
to
by
Sundin. He won't allow it.
Sakic.
And he holds it for the whistle.
Todd Bertuzzi. And
That hit will teach you to keep your head on a swivel. Here it is again. Draw to the left of the net. Lang wins the draw.
1 minute.
Stopped.
1
And he
minute
holds
remaining.
on to
Third
it. Face off to the left of the net. Draw controlled by Sundin. Denied with the shoulder. Retrieved in the defensive end. Dropped to Lidstrom. Pass a bit off. Sends it across. Sakic feeds it to the center. Denied by the pillows. To Bertuzzi. Wrist shot. Sakic scores. He's got the trifecta, the hat trick.
Holy jumping. How many goals does he have to score before they get somebody on him?
Wrist shot finds the back of the net. Let's take another look.
Yeah, Doc, it looked like the goalie tried to stop it with the pads, but he just wasn't quick enough.
Face off at center ice.
Western
One
Conference
back by
All-Stars
Rooney
goal.
to Murray.
Scored by
The Western Conference All-Stars are going to be called for a penalty.
Assisted by
Brodeur heads to the bench.
Bertuzzi.
Penalty called by the referee.
Rob
Nash
White.
into the box for slashing. The Eastern Conference All-Stars will be skating with a man advantage.
Not a good penalty for the Western Conference All-Stars.
Draw in the neutral zone. Thornton wins the draw. At the point. Shoots! Denied with the blocker. Retrieved in the defensive end. 3-on-2. Big shot! He gloves it. And he freezes the puck. Face off in the right circle. Draw one by Marlowe. A long blast. Got a piece of it. This one's officially in the books as the final horn sounds. The Eastern Conference All-Stars come out on top 13-10. Tonight we saw a wonderful performance by the East.
The guys in the losing locker room have to lick their wounds and try to come back strong next time. It'll be interesting to see if they can.
Now here are tonight's 3 stars of the game. Third star for the Eastern Conference All-Stars, Mats Sundin. The second star for the Eastern Conference All-Stars, Ilya Kovalchuk. The first star of the game for the Western Conference All-Stars, Joe.
The Eastern Conference All-Stars, helped along tonight by what looked like a very determined offense, they managed to score in all 3 periods on the way to victory against the West. That's all for tonight. We'll see you next time. For Darren Pang, I'm Mike Emmerich.
The game comes to a close. As always, thank you for coming. Good night, and we'll see you next time.